We're all the main characters in our own stories, yet every single man's story seems to involve a big heartbreak, and mine is no different. Although I do look young, I am 26, and based on my YouTube audience analytics, I'm probably older than you. And even if I'm not, I'd like to say I'm a pretty smart guy, which is why many of you, which could include you, look at me like I'm an older brother. And I think it's important I talk about heartbreak and my heartbreaks in my life, because like I said, every man goes through it. And I want to go over how I got over my life's heartbreaks, what I did right, what I did wrong, and trust me, I did a lot wrong. But more importantly, on my recent heartbreak, I feel like I handled it the best anyone could. Yet most guys don't handle it the right way. So I want to share what I learned, how I healed from heartbreak, so you can heal from your own or be prepared for your next relationship, because trust me, there's a whole lot here you can learn from. And at the very least, you can help one of your boys who's down in the dumps because of a girl. Before going into my breakups, I must classify you. That sounds kind of sus, not gonna lie, but I promise it's not. As I've identified two types of men when they go through heartbreak, which I call fight or flight men. We all know how breakup, rejection, and heartbreak starts. A girl who made you feel so good all of a sudden makes you feel like nothing, and you have intense emotional pain. The flight man, which I would define as 80% of men, I would say cry, but they actually don't do that. They're not man enough to cry, because what they do instead is run from the pain. When they feel the pain of a heartbreak, they can't handle it, so they fap, they do drugs, they do alcohol, or they find a rebound girl. And these are all really bad ways to deal with heartbreak, because you're running away from the pain. You're not actually healing. I'd actually claim that getting a rebound girl is probably the worst way you can heal from a heartbreak, because when you get a rebound girl, you feel like you're winning. When you're really not, you're just too afraid to be alone and deal with the pain. However, the fight men, which is 20% of guys, low-key have the same problem of running away from pain, but they just do it more productively. They go out into the world to prove the woman wrong, make her regret it, and get better. All of a sudden, they have this ambition to get rich and shredded, so they never feel the pain of a heartbreak ever again. So they grind through the gym, they grind through work, yet little do these fight men know the productivity, if you want to call it that they're using to get over a heartbreak isn't actually healing them. I call this the Andrew Tate method.
You know that ex who really upset you, who broke your heart? You got a bunch richer after you broke up, in better shape and famous. If she saw you and goes, wow, he didn't have a six-pack and arms like that when I was with him. He didn't drive a car like that when I was with him. Before you know it, she'd hate her current husband and want you back. Success is the best revenge. The best revenge on all those women who don't fucking reply to you anymore is the revenge on everyone. It's the cure-all. You don't have to try and get your ex back or upset her or be petty or send her stupid fucking messages. You need to fucking get rich.
Regardless if you're a fight man or a flight man, we've all heard the same thing. Time heals all wounds. But with heartbreak, that's not true. Time numbs pain, it doesn't necessarily heal it. Heartbreak is the universe's way to teach you a lesson, and it's time for you to learn something. And if you use distraction as a way to overcome this, you're not actually healing. Women statistically recover from breakups better and faster than men do. And honestly, this shouldn't be surprising, because girls are notorious for grieving and crying and letting all the emotions out. They go to brunch with the girls and release their pain. They feel their pain, so they recover. While men, on the other hand, recover from heartbreaks with their egos. Since heartbreak, by definition, I'd say, is the destruction of the ego. And honestly, good. You need your ego to be destroyed. However, most guys don't look at it that way, and they look at heartbreak as a problem to solve. They have to figure out why the girl left them, like there's something wrong with them, and they need to solve the issue of not letting this happen again. But I need to break this to all men really quick. Anything good in life has risk, and if you actually want to feel love in your life, which is probably the best emotion in the world, you have to risk pain from a heartbreak. It is what it is. But back to what I was saying earlier, most men think of heartbreak as a problem to solve, and they cannot feel their emotions because that makes them a wimp and a pussy. And because of this problem-solving mentality, guys just want to rebuild their ego. More hateful and hurt than ever. You want evidence of this? That's how all these red pill dating gurus became a thing. Go watch my Hamza video or my Casey Xander video where I dissect their insane views. You want to become this person? I would hope you wouldn't, and you actually want to build a meaningful relationship and connection with the woman. Have you ever noticed in comics, the villain's origin story is the same as the hero's? They deal with a similar type of pain when they were younger. One chooses to let their pain turn them into a bad person. They want others to feel their pain, while the other lets the hurt make them better, and their mission is to prevent people from feeling any type of pain. That's the only difference between a hero and a villain, how you deal with pain. The villain rebuilds the ego, the hero lets the ego die. die. One of the books that carried my healing journey, A Return to Love, defines the ego perfectly, and I want you to really dial this in. So take a deep breath and get ready. Our entire network of fearful perceptions, all stemming from that first false belief in our separation from God and one another, is called the ego. The ego is our self-love turned into self-hatred. The ego is our mental power turned against ourselves. I don't want you to turn into an egotistical red pillar, like I low-key became for a long time because I didn't heal from heartbreak well, which perfectly transitions into this part of the video, where I talk about my history with heartbreak, rejection, and breakups. I'm getting vulnerable with you again, so all I ask is you drop a like. And just an FYI, if you haven't healed from a breakup well, or are dealing with a breakup now, or just in general want to start feeling confident in yourself, you need to heal. And so many people have been asking me how to heal, so I was like, all right, I give up. I'm putting my free course in my new free community, which you can access for absolutely free in the description. I answer questions frequently in there, and honestly, so do the other members. It's my new Discord server, if you want to call it that. So yeah, join. Link is in the description in the pinned comment. So I want to make this clear. I've never had a crazy breakup. And what I mean by that is I haven't been in like a 5-year relationship and then she cheated on me or something like that. Something insane. However, just like you, I've had insane pain from heartbreak and rejection. And I want to clarify this for a lot of men. Most men don't realize that rejection and heartbreak hurts just as much as a breakup for some of us. All right, now I'm going to be vulnerable because I'm going to talk about my breakup history. And my first breakup or heartbreak was when I was 19. I was a freshman in college. Honestly, I got in a relationship with a girl who many said I was out of her league. And I don't say that as a flex. I say that to kind of highlight what was going through my head, which was I'd rather not be alone, so I'll lower my standards a bit to be with someone. Plus, she was in a friend group I was technically in, and I wanted all those people in the friend group to accept me. And I was like, hey, this could help me, so why not? This was hardcore people pleasing, by the way. I talked about my people pleasing tendencies and where it might have come from in this video here if you're interested. But like all people pleasing, eventually it gets you to a point where you struggle mentally. I became depressed because I was chasing validation of people, wait for it, who I didn't even like. And honestly, it was destroying me, which led to me complaining to the girl I was dating about how other people were treating me and how I was struggling. And of course, she dumped me as a result. Women can smell people-pleasing men from a mile away. A lot of guys say women don't like nice guys. That's not true. Women don't like guys who put them on a pedestal because they need them to feel loved, accepted, and complete. So don't get that confused. And I was that guy in this scenario. And instead of healing from this breakup by grieving it, learning how to truly be happy alone, I was like, no, I need to be better. I need to earn friends and earn a girlfriend. Then I'll feel complete, validated, and enough. So as a result, I locked it in the gym and I really focused on improving my social skills, which for me meant I was getting drunk and going to college bars on the weekends. And honestly, that worked and my social skills really did improve. But all that came from being socially rejected and not healing from it. So all that hurt that I didn't heal from got stored in my body. Remember that for later. My second heartbreak was more of a rejection when I was 23. I had just graduated college and I was basically working with this girl. We got along really well and she was texting me pretty much every day. So obviously I went to the conclusion of, oh, she really likes me. And I liked her too. Turns out she was leading me on and waited till the last second to tell me. And she basically said, hey, I like you, but not in that way, but I do want to keep this flirting thing going on because I want to feel validated. Of course, she didn't say that completely, but you get the gist. And I was experienced and old enough to know I am not doing this. So I needed to get her out of my life, and I found a way to do that. So I removed myself from the situation. And I was really hurt because I really liked this person, and all of a sudden it felt like I was manipulated and taken advantage of. And I was thinking to myself, if I was good enough, this wouldn't have happened. And I used that hurt and that energy to grow my YouTube channel. When she rejected me, I was at about 20K subscribers on YouTube, and I used that pain and energy to get to 100K just 4 months later, which is great and all, but I never addressed the feelings of not being good enough, so my body stored it for later. Then when I was 25, which was at the end of last year, I found a girl who low-key was everything I was looking for. Personality and looks-wise, she was basically my type. Only thing was she was older than me, but I guess who cares? I had never dated anyone who I liked and connected to more. But most importantly for me, because of bad boy dating advice, I had never met someone who liked me more. I was hearing stuff from mutual friends how she was like down bad for me and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, this is going well, I'm doing something right. And things were going really well when we were hanging out and going on dates. But when we weren't going on dates, I was noticing some things going on with me. For example, I met her at a party, we went on a first date, and I was doing the bad boy advice of waiting 4 to 5 days before texting her. But during that 4 to 5 day period, I was getting really anxious. I was like, please text me first, please text me first. And if I text her, let me make sure all the stuff is right and I'm saying the right words. And should I text her on the 4th day or the 5th day? And because I wasn't 19 anymore, I was like, this is not normal. Something is going wrong. Something is going on in here. So I kept a note of that. Then we dated for a little while longer, and I was doing the bad boy tactics of trying to get her to text me first and never texting her first. And funny enough, on our last date, she was like, you're a fake douchebag, but I know you're like actually like a sweetheart. And I was like, oh man, that's not good. I need to keep up this act. So I did some bad boy stuff, which probably turned out to be bad, because after that, I was waiting for her to text me, and then all of a sudden, we just stopped talking. But I couldn't text her first because that's giving her the power, giving her the validation. I went over to my Casey Zander video. You gotta have psychological leverage. So 1 week with no communication became 2, then 3. And during that whole time, I was like stressed and anxious, hoping she was gonna text me, which again, I noticed wasn't normal. But it ended up being a great thing for me because during the anxiety and stress, I found God. And through God's guidance at the time, I figured out a lot of things and figured out I had a fear of rejection, which is why I wasn't reaching out. And because of God, I had the courage to reach out to her like almost a month later. And then I texted her and she ghosted me. And to this day, I don't know what happened. Maybe I pushed her away with all of my manipulative tactics. Maybe she has an avoidant attachment style, because she did tell me about some trauma she had in her past, which would make sense. I've talked about girls going through chaotic upbringings in the past, but basically if they don't heal from it, they push love away, which could have happened. I have theories of what happened again, but I'm not gonna go down through that psychological rabbit hole in this video, because that low-key does me no good, because this person's out of my life. And she's been for a while, and who knows, she might be watching this video, because she actually did know I had a YouTube channel. So if she is watching, what's up? But yeah, that's in the past now. But from the way my nervous system and my inner child wound saw it, she kind of abandoned me, which triggered an abandonment wound from my childhood I didn't know I had. But the sum of this relationship, it taught me that there was things going on in here in my heart that weren't normal. Please pay attention to this. If someone, whether it's a girl or a friend, can leave your life, throw you off emotionally, affect how you view yourself and your self-worth, that means they aren't the problem. There is something in here that's the problem that you must fix. And honestly, the whole situation destroyed me. I noticed if an external person, someone in the world, could affect me that bad, has the power to shift my emotions, something had to have been wrong. And at this point, I had a great physique, I had a great YouTube channel and business, so I had nowhere to go. My distractions were gone, I had none. So I actually had to go in here and face my inner demons. And this was perfect for my life. God gave me this chance. Because in Outwitting the Devil, it states, the biggest blessing is something that causes men to change their habits and turn to the great within to solve their problems. I did research and realized I needed healing.
I will send you toxic partners until you learn how to heal.
You will attract in painful partners, partners that will hurt you and cause you pain. When you break up with these people and you learn from this lesson, you eventually meet that one person that is healed. Why? Because you have learned how to heal yourself.
It is your job to heal in order for you to ascend into the best version of you.
When you go through heartbreak or you get hurt, you always look around and say, maybe I wasn't enough for them. Maybe I wasn't good enough. When scientifically, you're subconsciously attracting this person because your mind, God, is trying to show you a bigger problem at stake. You are looking for love, validation, and worth in someone else. And that hurt, this pattern of heartbreak, will keep happening until you learn that love and acceptance will never come from a partner. Never. As the answer isn't a partner, no girl will ever complete you. Completeness is in you. Your mind, your heart, God, attracted the breakup to your life, and it caused you pain like a check engine light in your car. It's your heart saying, hello, I'm hurt over here. You need to fix this. It's telling you to find love within yourself, and once you do, your life will reflect the love you have for yourself. And only then will you find a partner that actually loves you. Weird. That's actually called the law of attraction. And if you don't learn your lesson from the heartbreak you're currently going through or the next one, you will attract the same partner again. All of my breakups were the same. It was the same type of hurt with a different face. A different but prettier face in my experience. I guess that's a consequence of building an aesthetic physique. All of my breakups, heartbreak, and rejection, I attracted a girl who was trying to show me the lesson that I needed to learn how to love myself. Because I was looking for validation and worth in them and in the world. And in this situation, my previous heartbreaks, where I talk about how I stored the pain for later, all stacked up on me. And since I didn't address them, God sent me another person to ignite the pain again. Because God was in heaven saying, all right, let's do this again. Hopefully Mario will learn not to look to women to feel validated and loved, and look toward me instead, because God is love. After this heartbreak, I knew I must stop solving breakups, aka an internal problem with an external solution. And this is something the alpha male red pill guys don't understand. An internal problem requires, wait for it, an internal solution. So I went through my healing journey to heal my inner child wounds, trauma, and previous breakups so I could finally love myself. And by the way, you can start your healing journey in my free community again, which has that free course I was talking about, which starts you going through the process I did to heal internally. And honestly, I'm happier than I've ever been. And like I was talking about earlier, most guys don't heal from breakups well. So many guys in my free community who actually inspired this video, because people kept asking me in my AMA section about how to heal from a breakup, complains how it hurts and they can't do anything because they miss their girl too much and all that stuff. It's like, good dude, breakups are supposed to hurt. God is doing confidence and identity surgery on you. Being a man during a heartbreak isn't about achieving crazy success to make the girl regret it. Being a man is actually about having the balls to grieve. You need to be a man, get through the storm, not alone but with God, as the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. There are no shortcuts to break up pain, but if you do it right, you can heal much quicker. And doing it right is feeling and grieving, doing the inner child healing, and really identifying the root of all this pain. Because the root of all this pain isn't actually the girl. It's inner child wounds and trauma that you haven't addressed yet. Now, before ending this video, I want to talk about the girl. The girl that hurt you, because honestly, that's super important. When a girl hurts you, it's so easy to get mad at them and prove them wrong. And this is the feeling I have for my previous breakups and low-key what I did to build my YouTube channel. And during my recent heartbreak, I had to fight myself to not use this mentality again. Because that was my way of coping with the pain. That was my distraction. That was my ego. I couldn't do this now because I knew that was causing me pain, and it stacked up at this moment. And I was at rock bottom because of it. And you have to take responsibility for your heartbreak because you attracted this person. So if you're in pain, it's low-key your fault.
The person that you attracted into your life that caused you pain could only possibly be attracted by the pain frequency that lives inside of you. It's being attracted to teach you a lesson that hopefully once you learn it, you allow yourself to go deep inside of yourself to heal what's deeply within you that will lead you through a life transformation, and therefore you could never attract someone that would hurt you like that ever again. That's why these people come in your life. And when you can allow yourself to see that, and maybe, just maybe, you allow yourself to see the beauty in everyone, the beauty in God, the beauty in yourself.
You truly start the process of healing from a breakup when you detach. When you secretly hope they're suffering, when you want them to regret leaving you, you're still internally clinging on to them. God can't give you your soulmate if you have a soul tie with somebody else. You must let go of being seen, particularly being seen from someone who didn't want you. You need to release the feeling of being chosen, because the fact is you're already chosen by God. You truly start the process of healing from a breakup when you choose to be happy without them. No, that doesn't mean you're gonna heal overnight. You're still gonna hurt. But when you choose to be happy without them, that's when you actually start healing. When the girl in the previous ones hurt me, I wanted them to regret it. It's normal, but this time around, I knew it was bad. I knew it was wrong. God wants us to pray for these people and wish them the best. Because if you attracted this person and they hurt you, that's because they're also hurt. It's a fact about life. Hurt people hurt people. I prayed for this girl every day, even though I didn't want to, until this anger, rage, and resentment went away. Funny enough, when I did this, I ended up glowing up anyways without the prove them wrong mentality. And low-key, based on this girl's Instagram interactions with me, it seems like she's upset with me, but I don't care because I wish her the best, and you can only say you've healed when you wish the girl that caused you pain the best. And no matter how bad a breakup breakup is you can do this. Like to this day, I never got clarity on what happened with this individual. So don't say you need clarity. You don't. You just need to heal. This is crazy advice, I know, because you have people like Andrew Tate who to this day will brag that they proved the girl wrong that they used to date. That's a beta male mentality, and that's not healing, that's ego. And when you think about it zoomed out, it's dumb. I mean, what's gonna happen? 5 years later, you'll be like, hey, I hope you regret what you did to me. I'm rich and famous now to prove you wrong. If it's a good girl, she'll laugh in your face. She'll say, I broke up with you because you're immature and an asshole, not because you weren't ripped and rich enough. And if she does actually regret dumping you because you got rich and famous, that's not a godly woman. That's a broken woman for the streets who you should be praying for. The fact is, God knew this person would hurt you before putting her in your life. He knew it already, and he knew this person, this pain would cause you to change. My recent breakup made me a far better person. My friends have been telling me that, and honestly a lot of people in my comments as well. It's the reason why I make content now that glorifies God versus content that's self-serving. It turned me away from being a red pillar who generalizes women and honestly use them as an ego boost, which is a lot like this crazy influencer, who's actually the most popular dating influencer on YouTube for young men. And if you listen to him, he'll destroy your life. So check out this video, make sure you don't listen to this guy and see how insane he is. Thanks for watching, see you next time.